One day, Sarah and Jake, a couple notorious for their pranks on each other, decided to spend a relaxing Sunday at home. Sarah was a huge prankster, but Jake always pretended to be too clever to fall for any of her tricks. Today, Sarah thought she'd take things up a notch. Jake was in the kitchen making coffee, completely unaware of Sarah's devious plans. She had just ordered a realistic-looking fake spider online, a massive, hairy, terrifying one. Knowing that Jake had an irrational fear of spiders, she carefully placed it in his favorite mug, which he always grabbed for his morning coffee. Then, she hid in the living room, barely containing her laughter. Sure enough, Jake reached for his mug, poured his coffee, and started to take a sip. Suddenly, he froze mid-drink, staring into the mug. There it was, the giant spider, seemingly floating right in his coffee. His eyes widened, and without missing a beat, he flung the mug across the kitchen, letting out a scream that could rival a horror movie. The mug smashed against the wall, coffee everywhere, and Jake stood there in shock, breathing heavily. Sarah was dying of laughter from her hiding spot, tears rolling down her cheeks. But Jake wasn't done. Later that afternoon, Jake decided to get his revenge. He knew Sarah's one true love in life was her collection of houseplants, which she nurtured like they were her children. So, while Sarah was out of the room, Jake replaced all the plants in the pots with broccoli. Yes, raw, store-bought broccoli. He even watered them, making sure the scene looked as believable as possible. When Sarah returned and saw her beloved plants, her jaw dropped. She stared in horror, then confusion, then outrage. "What happened to my plants?" she shrieked. Jake tried to keep a straight face, but he lost it and burst out laughing. Sarah narrowed her eyes, piecing together the prank. "You're dead," she said, but even she couldn't help but laugh. From then on, the battle of the pranks continued. But one thing was clear, no mug or houseplant was ever truly safe again.